The game of Sportsball begins by putting the Sportsball legend card on the table within reach of all the players. Next, shuffle the equipment deck as well as the location deck. Lay out 4 location cards onto the table and deal each player 3 equipment cards. Once this is done, choose who goes first and the game can begin. On a player's turn, they have 2 options: discard an equipment card from their hand and draw a new one from the deck, or choosing a location they want to play for and then laying down an equipment card that has that location listed on it. For instance, let's say I want to win this football field, which is worth 2 points. I have in my hand a rugby ball, which according to its card can be used to win the football field card. So now I play my rugby ball card and roll the die, trying to meet or beat the score on the equipment card. In this case, I need to roll a 4 or higher, 50-50 odds. But when I roll the die, if it ends up touching the Legends card, I add 1 to the roll. In this case, I rolled a 3, but by landing on the Legends card, it counts as a 4, and I win the football field. The next location card is revealed, I discard the rugby ball, and draw a new equipment card, and it's on to the next player's turn. If a player doesn't roll high enough to win the location card, they return the equipment card to their hand, and it's the next player's turn. If a player rolls a 1, or if the die rolls off the table, this is known as a fumble, and they discard the equipment card they played and draw another one, ending their turn. On the other hand, if a player rolls a 6, they may choose to put the equipment card they used back into their hand instead of discarding it, and if they land that 6 on a legend card, they also get an extra turn. The game ends when the last location card is won, and the player with the highest number of points wins. So that's the game Sportsball, and I like it, and I think you will too. That's the bottom line. But it wouldn't be a review if I just said, yeah, get this game, because, you want to know what's good about it, and you want to know what potentially could be bad about it. And I like to be kind of even on these things. I don't like to be singing praises of a game and say it has no faults. So if you're watching this and you're like, man, he's really beating down on this game, trust me, I like this game. I really like this game, but I have to say something bad about it, or people will think I'm a sycophant or something like that. No. Okay, so we've gotten past that. Let's go with the pros of this game. First off, it's super simple to teach people. It's not a hard game to pick up. You just have to read the instructions. I have the print and play version, so I don't have physical copies of the instructions. So it took a little bit of research and scrolling through some of the stuff to figure out how to play, but once we figured out, oh, it's that simple, then we didn't have a problem. You only need to read the cards and then roll the dice, and that's pretty much all you need to know, with a little bit of exceptions just to spice it up a little. So very simple. That's my first pro. My second pro is it's very small, and this could be a con as well, and I'll talk about that later, but the portability of this game is amazing. I have a little Ziploc bag here, and this is what I store my copy in because I do not have a box set yet. I will be getting a box set, but yeah, this is what I have, and it's very small, and yeah, it doesn't take up a huge amount of space, and you get four players, and yeah, you've got a game, and it plays really fast, and it's fun. It's a very compact, nice little transportable game. Lastly, for pros, I would like to say, and there are other pros that I could go on, but I don't want to be rambling on like I am now. The third thing that I like is the fact that there's skill and strategy, but there's also random chance, because you are rolling a single die. Everyone rolls the same number of dice, 1, and you have the same types of cards as everyone else. So there's a lot of randomness in the sense that it depends on the die. If the die goes where you want it to go on the number, then you win, and if the dice are being really mean to you, then you're gonna lose, and that's fun too. That being said, there is strategy as well. You want to know, should I risk using a piece of equipment that isn't exactly for the sports field that I'm playing for, or do I want to play it safe and get something that might have less points? That's something to consider, and that's where the strategy comes in. And rolling the dice is a skill in itself, and if you roll onto the Sportsball Legend card, you're going to be scoring more and winning more points, and that's great. So there's skill, there's strategy, but there's still random chance. So if you're a really good game player, you'll have a shot at winning this game, and you'll have a good shot at winning this game. But if you're a newbie and you've never played a board game in your life, and you learn this game, you still have a chance to win, and it's pretty reasonable amount of chance. Alright, so I've sung the praises of this game for quite a while. Let's talk about some of the things I didn't like about this game. First off, and it was part of the pros, it's a small game. It's a very small game. There's only a few sports fields out there, and I'm pretty sure that the number of sports equipment is the same. I don't know if there's a way to make it so there's more of one than the other, just so the game goes faster maybe, or maybe it gets harder. I don't know. I think they could have made some more sports, and maybe their campaign right now will be, I'm filming this while a campaign's going on, so maybe in their development they'll be like, oh, well, we reached this goal, so we'll release this many more fields or this much more equipment. But right now it feels not bare bones. It's a solid game. You play for a solid amount of time, but I would like a little more. I would like a little more, just to make it a little more interesting than just these few sports. So when we're talking about equipment cards and the fields and whatnot, let's talk about the equipment cards, okay? These are in sets. There are 3 cards that share 3 fields in which they take place. So, like tennis, badminton, and I think ping pong. Yeah, those are 3 sports locations that share 3 equipment, and those interchange, and the 3 equipment do not have anything to do with any of the other locations in the game. And that's how all of the equipment is in this game. So when they do that, what happens is it gets very predictable and it feels kind of bland after a little bit. And it's not that it's a bad design, it just takes away from the whimsy of using equipment for a sport that it's not really intended for. It takes away that fun, frolicking Calvin ball kind of feel from it. And it's like, oh, it's still organized. We've got these 3 for these 3 locations. We've got these 3 for these 3 locations. And they never cross over between the groups of 3, which it makes sense. There's a reason why they designed it that way. It's easy to make expansions this way. You just throw in another 3 and you've got a whole new thing. But I think it would do well to have some cards that just link different locations that have nothing in common except, oh, but you could use this piece for that. Like maybe a tennis ball where you could use it for baseball, you could use it for tennis, or you could use it for polo. You know, something like that. So it's crossing over these 3 sets of 3's categories without being part of one of them. I think that would make this game feel a little richer, and maybe they'll do that in the future for some expansions or upgrades to the game. It's just an observation I had, and I think it would make it a better game that way. Lastly, this is less of a thing I have against the game or how it plays, and just a matter of tidiness, is some cards have one name for a location, and the other cards have a different name for that location. So here's the example that I want to show you. We've got a rugby field, but the rugby ball has a rugby pitch on it. They're technically the same thing, but if you don't know the game or you don't know the sport, you might not know what each one of those are, and if you're going to be super litigious about the rules, you can't play a rugby ball on a rugby field because the rugby ball does not have rugby field on the list of locations it can be played on. It has a rugby pitch that you can play on it, and there are no rugby pitch cards on this deck, and so that's something that needs to be fixed. Just having consistency between the cards. It might already be fixed for all I know, but the print and play version, it's still two different cards. So yeah, just something to look into, developers, and hopefully that helps you out a little bit. So that's my review. Like I said, I like this game. I think you will too. And if you want to take a look at it, there should be a link in the description. If the campaign is still going, you'll definitely be able to get a copy. And if the campaign is at the end, it might still be available through that link. But I'll update the link as I can once it becomes fully published and everyone's getting copies at Walmart and stuff like that. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with this game? I think it's capable of doing great things in the future. So check it out. And until next time, this is Hogwash, over and out. Catch you later.